G'day, hey, hi, and welcome. Let me proudly introduce to you, something like that. An incredibly awesome guitar. Yes, what you are looking at here is a PRS SVN7 7-string Mark Holcomb signature series guitar. This thing is amazing. This is my first 7-string. Not the first 7-string I've ever played, unlike my 8-string when I bought it. This is my first 7-string I've ever owned. And I've probably over the years, in music stores only, tried 20, maybe 30 different types of 7-strings. And I gotta tell you, this is probably the best playing 7-string on the market. Bold statement, I know. And I've only had this guitar for less than a week. It'll be a week next Thursday. And today, unfortunately, is 1 week since the passing of my dog. So the very first song I wrote on this guitar, as soon as I got it, is called Lacey, in commemoration of and celebration of my dog. And yeah, so I thought I'd bring that up. But yeah, so it's been a crazy week. Kind of good, kind of bad, because of, like a week from then. But I got this on Thursday. Now, let's go through we'll just do the specs first. There's going to be lots of videos on this guitar. What you're looking at is the 7-string, 26.5-inch scale length. Let's have a look at these bird inlays. 26.5-inch scale length. Okay, and it has, obviously, a 24-fret fingerboard, ebony fingerboard, which is my favorite. It's my favorite. I do believe that is a graphite nut. It feels like a graphite nut. PRS tuners. There's the Mark Holcomb SE model. I forgot to tell you, this is an SE model. The SE is kind of like the budget line of Paul Reed Smith, but any Paul Reed Smith I've ever seen, they're not budget guitars. Their base model, a custom 24, is like $850. That's a pro guitar, guys. Like I've tried them before. I was never into those guitars, but let's get back to this. You have mahogany body, flame maple top, or is that quilted maple top? No, that's flame maple top, with a Mark Holcomb burst. So you can sort of see the purple. It hits you at different angles. So it's like, I can barely see it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's kind of one of those guitars. Different angle. The depth of the finish on this thing is just absolutely incredible. Alpha and Omega Seymour Duncan pickups, which are believed to be his signature pickups. You have a push-pull pot. And these are interesting little tone and volume. They're metal, very good quality, but they're small. And then 3-way switch. So you get a total of 6 sounds. I've never seen this on any other PRS in my life, but this is the Snob Series Mark Holcomb bridge, as he would call it, I guess. The guy's a very, like, it's one of his biggest criteria is getting the bridge right. They got the bridge right on it. They got a lot of things right on this guitar. Yes, I have the 8-string, and I started with the 8-string. And, the 7-string is now in my possession, and I'll explain. I'll do a different video on that. The last thing I want to show you, maybe not last thing on the specs, but I don't think the camera, obviously the camera might not pick up the depth. You have no idea, guys, how hard it is to keep fingerprints off a black guitar. So I'm hoping the camera's sort of doing it justice. But if you can notice that depth of the black on the back here, and then it gets dull. Well, this is a bold statement that I'm about to say, but this is possibly the smoothest neck of any guitar I've ever played in my life. It's probably wet sanded with like 3000 grit or something like that. It's sort of like a U profile. It's a chunk of neck there, but it feels much thinner than it looks. It's completely perfect. It's like a CU shape kind of hybrid, but it is the most smoothest neck of any guitar I've ever tried. And I don't think you can get a guitar with that smooth a neck under $5,000. Yeah, that's crazy, right? I see, I'd never spend $5,000. I don't know, guys. I don't know. That's pretty good. That's pretty great. Now, the other thing that on this guitar, why this might be one of the best 7-strings on the market, period, is bang for the buck. Now, the teenager who's not working, he's not going to be able to probably afford this. The average person probably can. If you want one of these guitars, what am I doing for time here? Okay, pretty good. There's probably 2 of them left in the country for sure. One at Long and McQuaid, and one left at the art store in Newmarket, Ontario, where I purchased this. This one didn't even make it to the floor. I got the boxed model from the warehouse, and the one on the floor basically would normally have their little tag on it. It comes with an Allen wrench and a truss rod adjustment wrench, and I won't get too into depth on the bag, but it's a gig bag. It's a nice gig bag. There's not a lot of stuff that comes, there's not like all kinds of Mark Holcomb stuff, whatever. I was kind of hoping they would have thrown in a strap, even if it said Mark Holcomb on it. I wouldn't care because I'm running low on guitar straps. I only have 2 and my guitars are growing, but yeah. I do plan on a few more guitars, but boy, is this one a player. I'll get into the pickups and stuff in a minute. Yes, I have plugged it in. Yes, I have played it. I've only been playing it for a couple of days, but PRS strings. These are the classics. However, they do not have these on their website, on the PRS website. 10 to 62. Sounds pretty heavy and pretty awkward. This guitar plays like a dream. It is a little bit wider, but what took me months to get used to the 8-string and still getting used to the 8-string, same scale length. This, I don't misfret anything on this guitar. It belongs in my hand. I get the passion Mark Holcomb has for his guitar, and I'm not the biggest Periphery fan. I listen to their stuff from time to time, but I like the guitar. Now, this is a pro guitar. It is a pro model. One huge thing, guys, and you're going to freak out if you know what I'm telling you here. Look at these frets. Do they look a little bit strange to you? If they do, it's because you probably never played a guitar with dress frets before. These frets are perfect. They are perfect. This guitar, there's almost zero buzzing on. I mean, all guitars buzz even with dress frets. Dress frets, ebony fingerboard, binding. Look at the inlay work. I mean, let's look at the kestrel or the hawk in the middle, kestrel hawk in the middle. Okay, look at that, okay. Pearl inlays, right? Look at the depth of that paint job, okay. Alpha Omega Saman or Duncan pickups. Push-pull pot, tone, volume, 3-way switching, so giving 6. Graphite nut, mahogany body, maple veneer. $1,430 plus tax. This was a little lower, I think it was $1,610. The shipping was free for me because it was over a certain price. Okay, so he said, that's a lot of money. That is, oh yeah, and then really nice, I know, very dainty there. Black chrome on top of that nice bridge. But really nice strap buttons on it. Nice and hefty. The guitar is heavy, but not crazy heavy. And it's definitely not neck divey heavy. It's way lighter than my 8-string, which is solid mahogany body and neck. This is really small. But the price, yes, it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. There's no doubt about that. I'm not going to even kid you. I don't even have that kind of money. My credit card, is what the only reason why I could have this, right? But it's a pro guitar, and I've always said you can buy yourself a guitar that in between the $1,200 and $1,600 range, tax and all, that would be as good as you can get as a guitar. This is that guitar. This is that guitar. There is no other PRS that I've ever tried, including core models, that play better than this, other than, you know, making up for the scale. Not everybody's fingers can take a 26.5. I got big monkey hands and knobby thing, you know, you know, yeah, I got, you know, I got ratchets here, you know, my working hands, you know, but I got big fingers, no problem. This guitar, again, I've tried the core models. They don't do this. They do something different. This is a metal guitar. That said, the Alpha and Omega pickups are these are probably the clearest pickups I have ever used. You can barely see the Seymour Duncan blacked out on there. It looks really cool, but I don't know if the camera will pick it up. My eyesight can barely see it, but there's like kind of like a ghost black there. This is Seymour Duncan on it, on both of them. The other one, you can just see it. Just see it there. It looks so good. Crystal clear. Very hot pickups. How am I doing for time? Yeah, I'll make a part 2.